Welcome to Dad Talks, when dads show up for dads, a story of healing and growth, brought to you by Brightpoint Fatherhood Services. Have you ever been in a surprising, unfinding place that you didn't expect? Our guest, Robert Grady, has been in a place like that. And so he's going to talk to us and tell us about his story. I'm super excited. Robert is the member of Brightpoint Fatherhood Group that provides support, fatherhood education, and ongoing coaching to other fathers. Robert is going to tell us why he experienced this and how we can help as fathers. Please help me welcome Robert Grady.
Hello, thank you, Gregory, for the introduction, and hello to all of you. Thank you for willing to listen to me today. My journey to where I am now starts at the towards the end of 2019, going into the pandemic. It started out with I was in the darkest place of my life. I just was losing my marriage, and my wife had left me with my two kids and I was living on my sister's couch with my two children. And I was so angry. I was so distraught. I didn't know what to do. And while taking them to daycare, we just started up. I was taking them to the daycare at Chicago Child Care Society, which is in Hyde Park in Chicago. And I was doing it by myself. I didn't have any car. And I was taking regular CTA transportation. And while I was taking him there, I noticed one of the child coordinators for the class. His name is Adam. He knew my situation. He knew what I was going through with my wife at the time because he met both of us in the child intake and with my two children, Karen and Grayson. And he noticed that I was hurting really bad one day, like it was written all over my face. He gave me a flyer. It was for a men's group at the time called Power of Fathers. I took it. It had didn't think much about it. I was kind of in a dark place from a standpoint of I didn't know what to do. So I took the flyer and then I kept it for a couple of days. I saw what was it about, and I saw it had Mashawn's name and number on there. And this is going forward already in the pandemic. And I called Mashawn and he told me that yes, we do have these men's group. We come together and we talk and we express how we feel. He called it tapping in. And he said, due to the pandemic, we're not meeting in person, we're meeting online. So I can give you the Zoom link. It's every Thursday at 5. You're welcome to join. So I said, okay. So I joined. And during the midst of this time, I was getting into the court proceedings of fighting for my kids. And this is a lot of back and forth, and I'm taking a lot of, you know, going through a lot of painful things and being hurt at the same time. I was so angry, so angry. And anger, if it's not channeled properly, that I've learned by being in this group, if it's not channeled properly, it can destroy you and the people around you. Anger, it's not prejudice. It doesn't care who you are, where you are, when. But going to this group, when I started going to this group, I sat there. I didn't say anything for the first, I want to say almost a month, like 3.5 weeks, almost a month. I sat there and I watched everybody talk. I watched all the men express what they were feeling, what they were going through. I watched them express things that were similar to what I was going through. A lot of guys in there were trying to fight for their kids and see their kids. And one day, I can honestly say that I had a breakthrough. Something one of the navigators said about accountability, and I went off. I was yelling, I was screaming, and I was crying. I had tears going down my face. I was really hurt because I was yelling to him like I did everything the right way. I was faithful, I was honest, I was true. I I took care of everything, and this is the things that I get. I said it, I was like, life is not fair. I did everything right, and look at where I am. And I was crying, and I remember some of the guys were trying to calm me down, and because I went off on a complete different tangent. It was nothing about what the discussion was in the subject. It's just him saying accountability triggered me. And another one of my love him to death to this day, Terry, he stopped everybody, said, hold on, hold on. Instead of being focused on what he's saying, look at I said, he said, do you guys feel the pain that's coming off of him? Do you feel the pain that he's in? Do you see how hurt he is? And and they surrounded me once Terry said that. It was nothing, it wasn't no apprehension, nothing like that, but I never experienced that as a man. I've never experienced like love, like unconditional love. I've only experienced conditional. Like I had to do something in order to receive the love that I needed. But with this group, I received unconditional love. They surrounded me, and I was a broken man. They picked me up piece by piece by piece. And some days were harder than others, but they did it. And you know that I don't know if you guys heard of the old adage of it's easier to fix a broken child, but it's easier to fix a broken child than to fix a broken man. Well, this group fixed me. Like I tell Mashawn to this day, thank you. And every navigator, you saved my life. And now, when I had those days of going to group on those Thursdays, some days I was holding my breath because as soon as I was getting off the line, I hold my breath again because I knew what was coming with their mom. I knew what was coming with the divorce proceedings. I knew what was coming with the bashing and talking about me and having my name dragged through the mud. I took it because I knew next Thursday I had 12 guys on there that had my back and told me that I mattered. And they kept pushing me and they kept encouraging me because I had no faith. I didn't believe I could win. I didn't believe that I could keep my children. I was scared to death. And this is before I found out they were autistic. And I had to go and get them tests. And it's weird. It's weird to talk about it now because at the time where I was feeling, I felt like I was being probed, I was being probed because I was getting my children tested for autism. It's a kind of a different setting. Like they have you in the classroom, they have you around, they give a bunch of toys for the kids, and it's like 8 or 9 professionals asking you a ton of questions. And every question, it was almost like, "Where's the mom? Where's the mom? Where's the mom? Where's the mom?" And I just had enough. I said, "She's not here." I started crying. I said, "She's not here. She's gone. I am all they have left. She's not here." And I remember my shine and them telling me, as I told them what was happening, they're telling me this to be strong. They're here to help. You're getting your kids help. I know it's not what you expect it to be, but just stick with it. So I did. And then as it got better, they got their help that they needed. They got in their ABA, they got in their speech therapy. They they kept progressing and I stuck with it for years to come. But during that time, that group was just in my corner. They were there just with me. And I'm so thankful to this day. And I kept going in these groups till one day I became hope for them because once they started learning more about my story, like, wow, you actually have your kids. I want to see you have your kids. Like they kept telling me, you have your kids. Yes, you're going through the legal troubles, but you have them. You should get to see them every day. And I didn't think about it from that perspective. I also worried about losing them. I tend to forget they're right in front of me. And those guys encouraging me, and the more I went to those classes, I became an inspiration for them because they never seen a man have their kids and in court fighting to keep them. It's usually the other way around. I hate to say that, but it is. Not trying to not gonna get into that, but you know how it is. But as I kept going and as I kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and learning how to control my anger and start channeling that anger into being a better father for them, because the group taught me that I had to be the father that was best for them. I couldn't be the father that I wanted to be for them, because the father that I wanted to be for them was the father that I always wanted.
Mhm.
But this situation was different. My kids were different. They're not me. So being in this group taught me that it's okay in admitting that you need help in learning how and receiving coaching in how to parent properly. So I want to say that in doing that, I became that father for them. I became more understanding. I became more understanding to their disabilities with autism, and how my daughter Karen, she misses all social cues, and if and you have to kind of break it down what things mean. Or my son Grayson, who at the time was nonverbal, didn't say anything, not a word to me. Wishing one day he would just talk to me, and just keep working with them, just show them sight words and just keep moving and keep working with them and getting them in the proper class and advocating for them. And then as we keep going along in these groups, I every week I go in there, I give them an update because they want to hear an update. They want to say, hey, how everybody doing? They're waiting for me to tap in. They wanted me to show them that there's hope. And then as I kept going and going, it got better and it got better and it got better. And then eventually I became custodial parent of my kids. I won the case. I got to keep my kids. And I was so relieved, as almost like I felt lighter. Like I felt like I lost so much, like all the weight was off my shoulders. And I went back to my group and I told Mashawn and those guys, I said, thank you for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. And after I did that, they're like, that's good, that's great. You got over that hump. We love you. But now it's about progressing you. You're not just your story, you're not just about that divorce. You're not just about this. You're more than that. You're more than that. This is just the beginning. So they picked me up and kept me going.
Mhm.
Like, what do you want to do? How can you best support these kids? So I went back to school. And honestly, now I'm saying I'm actually about to finish graduating. I actually, because Mashawn inspired me, I'm actually studying to be a social worker. So I'm almost done. So once I finish these, I think I can start my internship next year during the spring. So I'll be looking for you guys. Be wanting to look at the intern with you guys. But going through that process, it just showed me that no matter how far you are down as men, as society tell you as men to hold it in, don't express anything. Tapping into your feelings and expressing them makes you a stronger man, stronger more than holding it in and being stoic all the time. And just it makes it so much better when you have people that believe in you. Like I tell my friends to this day, like, I don't need nothing from them. I just need you to believe in me. Just believe in me. Belief is belief will take you bounds and measures above anything. And this group and this men's group had that in spades. The belief I received every Thursday, talking with Mashawn and Neil and all the other guys in the group, Darren, Arthur. It's just so many different stories, and Shay, and Terry. I can go on and on. Like, I'm so forever thankful. Like I tell Mashawn, those guys, you guys saved my life. And I can never, like, I don't think to this day I've never told Mashawn no. Whatever he wants, you, it's yours. Whatever I can do to push this, whatever I can do to get the word out, I'll do it. So I just fast forward now. My daughter, Karen, she's progressing well. She's learned how to play the drums for a jazz band in church. She's dancing in the church. She's singing in the church. My son Grayson actually speaks to me now. We have conversations. We talk. He's talking. Like the other day, Dad, I said, Grayson, you can have 3 pieces of candy. And he said, Dad, what did you say? How many pieces of candy did I say? Did I have? Can I have? I said, you can have 2 pieces of candy today. Like we have, it just, I get taken back sometimes because the conversation. I'm so used to him not saying anything. I used to have to play charades. I gotten really good at playing charades, working with my son. So actually hearing him talk and use full sentences and conversate back and forth. Like I take him to basketball for Special Olympics last year. He placed gold in regionals and placed sixth in state for Special Olympics in basketball. So and just hearing, just watching him interact, and just, it's a marvel to see. And just I couldn't have done any of that without this group, because without this group, I would have gave into my anger, and I would have done unspeakable things that I would have regretted to this day. That would have not only harmed me, but my kids, and their well being and their progression. If nobody don't take anything from what I said today, take this. Ask for help, and you'll be amazed where you will find it. Just be open and be willing to receive. And I just want to thank you all for listening to me today. It has truly been a blessing to express my story, and I realize the more I talk about it, the more it doesn't hurt. And you can see now that I can talk about it with a smile on my face, because I remember that pain like I'm looking at the wall over there. I can reach out and touch it. I remember it. I remember how it feels. I know where I was when I when I was in it, and I know what it can do to you if it's not channeled properly. So how can I put this? Fast forward with me, like I said about my graduation, I also remarried again because I remember my mom telling me. I actually remember telling my mom when everything was going down, Mom, I'm so done with marriage and women. I'm just gonna focus on my kids. And I remember my mom telling me, son, you too good of a man to be alone. She said, some woman gonna come scoop you up and you're not gonna even notice. You're not even gonna notice. And Lord behold, that did happen. My wife Fallon found me. Literally, she literally found me on Match.com. Literally, I had a 2 week subscription, and yeah, yes, a 2 week subscription. Didn't even pay for it. And I remember setting my profile up, and I had these bunch of pictures of me, but I had like 4 pictures that me and my kids took at the little planetarium at Navy Pier. And I remember my sister telling me, Robert, don't put those pictures on a dating website. That's going to scare women away. I said, Terry, whoever's going to love me is going to love the fact that my kids are going to come first. Whoever's out there for me. And then when I finally met me, and the first thing she said to me, she said, "Yeah, I saw the picture of you and your kids, and your kids were standing behind you in the picture. You were looking up at your kids." And she said, "That man really loves his kid, and that what really drew me to you, the love, because the love I expressed in that picture." And here we are, we're 2 years married. We have a 10-month-old son, Reese, And some days I look back as I watch them because she's a great mom to Karen and Grayson. She's great. I tell her every day she's a blessing. Like you are truly a blessing. And sometimes I catch myself when I see the four of them interacting with each other and I kind of be standing off in the distance and watching, like, man, if I never pushed and kept going, I probably would have never made it to this. If I never would have took that flyer from Adam and called Mashawn, I probably would have never gotten this far. And just looking back on that, just really just, I value it now. I value everything that I've went through because I know with my pain, I can prevent somebody else from going through this pain. I can prevent by just sharing my story that there's hope. And I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm going to embrace it. I'm not going to longer be ashamed of it. I'm going to embrace it. So again, thank you all for listening to me today.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Every time, for everyone, my name is Mashawn Austin. I am the program supervisor over one of the programs in the Fatherhood program, program at Brightpoint. When I first met Robert, what was that, part 5, 6 years ago, I was the group facilitator. I was his navigator. And he's absolutely right. He came in and he was quiet. I told him that we are no longer, because of COVID, meeting in person. And I said, it'll be a little different. I said, because virtual space, you don't have that hand on hand. And he said, well, he'll give it a try. I said, just follow my lead. When we tip in, if you don't want to say anything, you don't even have to say your name. Just follow my lead. I said, when you feel comfortable, then you can start speaking up and sharing your story. To this point, it took him 3 to 4 weeks. I think on the third week, he said his name. The fourth week, he got more into the conversation, and as he stated, that resonated with me. Every time I hear his story, where he reiterated that he was in the darkest place of his life. He was angry. He was distraught. He said he even had anger, and if it wasn't channeled properly, it could have went any other way but the correct way. So I was just so glad that he came with us, came in, and he sat for a little bit, and then he opened up. He started sharing his story, and if I can be honest, everyone can't do what he did. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength." I think you have displayed strength throughout, and look at the what you have displayed. Look at the outcomes that that has been surrendered unto you. You met Fallon. You and Fallon got married 2 years ago. I was invited to the wedding. I showed up, and then you have a beautiful boy. You sent pictures of that 10 months ago. I can't believe it's about to go on a year. Just an amazing story. And I see all the icons going on, saluting you and things like that. So I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, publicly, job well done. I can't see what the next 5 years would do. And it's, as I said all the time, that which that does not destroy us, make us stronger. That which was that divorce. You've been in a darker place, and look at you now. And I always say, and I would end with this, stick with it. It's strength at the end. If you give up before that, you never know what will take place. I strongly believe in the real change, which comes with the brotherhood, the bond, and the accountability that we hold each other to a safe place to be transparent and vulnerable without judgment. And I think you did exactly that in our place. We always say fathers sharpening fathers, men uplifting men. So I just want to say again, Robert, I appreciate you highly, and I'm glad to see you in a much, much better place. And I can't wait to see after you become that social worker and see how far you go from there. So having said that, I don't know how much time we have. We have 4 minutes. Does anyone, maybe 2 or 3 people, may do a comment or anything? Not more than 3. We have